Today, you and I are going to talk about one simple question. What ever happened to peer pressure in school? Welcome back to Capo TV, the channel where we know school's a joke, but you still have to do something. If this is your first time here to Capo TV and you also think school's a joke and you want to help spread that message, then hit that subscribe button now. Something that's been on my mind for a little while is the fact that school doesn't really talk about peer pressure anymore. When I was a young lad in school back in the 90s and early 2000s, that's all we ever heard about. Don't give in to peer pressure. If all your other friends jumped off a bridge, would you jump with them? Peer pressure isn't cool. Peer pressure will get you killed. And you know, that message has really stuck with me my entire life. Now, maybe when I was in school and I was young, I didn't really see the problems with it or the hypocrisy that was involved in school back then. But throughout my life, I've always believed that you shouldn't do things just because other people are doing them. Nowadays, though, it seems like school is all about being part of one mind. As long as you are part of the group, you're safe. And instead of focusing on peer pressure education, they're focusing on the symptoms of peer pressure itself, at least in my opinion. For example, when I was substitute teaching and I was walking around the halls of my old high school, I would see posters everywhere about bullying, suicide, depression, being a good member of society, gang violence. All of those things to me seem like problems that come about when you give in to peer pressure. And I think today, peer pressure is even more important than ever. Peer pressure used to be a thing that would only happen when you were actually physically around other people. Now, though, we have cellular phones, smartphones that are always connected to everybody in the entire world. People that are out of touch with reality complain that kids these days, young people these days, they don't have any social skills. They don't understand community. Well, today's social skills and community are right here. Kids these days are more connected than ever, and they're more susceptible to peer pressure than they were when I was in school in the 90s and early 2000s. Why then are we not educating children on the dangers of peer pressure? And it might sound like I'm being a little facetious with this, a little sarcastic, a little silly, but I'm seriously considering that this is the root cause of a lot of the problems we see in today's schools and in today's youth. I don't really have research and evidence to back that up. This is just my intuition. But this is one of the major problems in school, right? Because you're forcing a whole bunch of different people together, a whole bunch of people in the same age group in one place. Peer pressure is a strong force, and there's a lot of kids that only act a certain way around their friends. They might do certain things to be accepted into the social group that's falsely constructed in school. A thought I just had while I'm recording this video, a realization, is that school is the ultimate proponent of peer pressure. How many times have you heard a teacher say something like, "Billy, why can't you be like Johnny? Johnny is a nice student. Look, he's doing his work. Billy, you suck. Why can't you be more like Johnny?" Teachers use peer pressure all the time, and maybe they don't think of it like that, but that's functionally what they're doing. They are pressuring certain students to be like their peers. The grand scheme of school is to produce a lot of people that think alike. And if you can't fit within that group that school's trying to create, then you're labeled as a failure and a misfit. I may have gotten a little off topic, but this whole thing is wrapped around peer pressure. My question is, why don't we talk about peer pressure more in school? In all my years of schooling, we were told constantly to not give in to peer pressure. We were told, don't jump off a bridge just because all your friends are doing it. And related to all this, a quote that's stuck with me my whole life ever since I first heard it on the Disney afternoon from the genie from Aladdin: great minds think for themselves. The common saying is, great minds think alike. But that's peer pressure. Don't give in to peer pressure. Peer pressure leads to things such as depression, suicide, bullying, all those other negative things that you see on the posters in the hallway of your school. The root cause? peer pressure. And like I said, peer pressure comes through here more than anything else. Back in my day, sure, it would be enough to say, don't go out on the playground and get involved with things just because you want to be part of the cool kids. Nowadays, peer pressure is at your fingertips, and school is not saying a word about it. If the school system should be teaching anything, I would hope that they would find a way to start talking about peer pressure again and getting people thinking for themselves. Now, what are your thoughts on peer pressure? Have you ever been taught about peer pressure in school? And if you've been out of school for a while, do you remember way back when being taught about the dangers of peer pressure? Leave a comment down below and let's talk about that. And if this was your first time here to Capo TV and you also think school's a joke and you want to help spread that message, then hit the subscribe button now. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.